Carol Gold was 53 years old when her husband Chuck was found brutally murdered. It's a dramatic turn in the life of a woman who just decades ago was on a very different path. Working as a Playboy bunny, experiencing this glamorous lifestyle, and making more money than she ever thought possible. Carol was involved with the Playboy company at a very early stage in the early 60s. Back then, the magazine looked very homemade, cut and paste. It wasn't like the glossy, lavish thing that people saw in decades later. Hef started Playboy when he was 27 years old. He started HMH Publishing at the same time. HMH Publishing is his initials, Hugh Marston Hefner, and he just started that publishing company to do Playboy. The first issue came out in December of 1953. He didn't put a volume number on the first issue because he wasn't sure if there'd be a second one. The first nude pictorial in Playboy was a photo of Marilyn Monroe, and that feature would go on to become the centerfold feature. There really wasn't anything like Playboy at the time. There were nude magazines, but they were all pretty downscale, so he wanted to do something different. The Playboy lifestyle was supposed to be an aspirational, upscale, men's kind of fantasy lifestyle.
Carol was from Chicago. And
in 1955, she was a model in her teenage years. She did a lot of magazines and commercials and things like that. And so that's kind of how her life started in the public eye. And when Carol was only 15 years old, she had a friend who worked nearby HMH Publishing. And her friend thought, hey, Carol, maybe you can get a job there.
Carol was in a Catholic school. The Catholic priest had to approve anybody that wanted to work a job outside of school, and he approved it because it was just a publishing company. He didn't understand that HMH meant U.M. Hefner.
Carol meets with an executive who really, really liked her at the time, and he hires her on the spot.
The very first Playboy Club opened in Chicago on February 29th, 1960. It was an upscale place for men to go. It was a private club. The Playboy bunnies were the hostesses and waitresses that worked at the Playboy Club, and they wore the very famous skimpy outfit, which is basically just a corset with tights. The bunny costume was based on the Playboy mascot, which is a rabbit. When Hef first started the magazine, he decided on the rabbit as a symbol and a logo because rabbits are very playful animals and they have a lot of sex.
This is my Playboy bunny picture. This is from Chicago. That was a really great job. The definition of a bunny in the 1960s was the girl next door, but somebody that was sexy and beautiful. A bunny in the 1960s made great money, and we were like rock stars. The money we made definitely was life-changing. In Chicago, we made more money. There was more celebrities that came to the Chicago Club. We met everybody and usually would have them sign our cuffs.
Carol started off as a switchboard operator in Playboy's first offices.
They used Carol as a fit bunny in order to design the original costume that the girls wore in the 1960s when the club opened. And then she became a bunny after that.
And she was really a pioneer, being one of the first bunnies. This would have been a very unique experience for anyone, but for somebody who was coming from a Catholic school background, that just must have been something completely different, because at the time there was nothing like the Playboy Club.
Carol helped supervise other bunnies in private parties, and she was always kind. She was easy to work for, and if you stepped off line, she told you. She was supervising a get-together. Frank Sinatra and some of his friends were there. And Mr. Sinatra asked her, well, who are you? And she said, may I get you something? And he goes, well, no, I just want to know who you are. You can sit and talk to me. And she said, Mr. Sinatra, I'd absolutely love to. And I think you're amazing, but I have to take care of everything here.
The club was definitely an introduction to the good life for Carol and showed her what was possible. You know, you have all these wealthy clients coming in. I think Carol probably got used to the money and the lifestyle. It's a very easy thing to get used to and like want for the rest of your life. While Carol was working as a Playboy bunny, she also put herself through school. She became a teacher and taught 8th grade at a Catholic school. It's so crazy that she was a Catholic school teacher by day and a Playboy bunny at night.